The military launched its 20th strike this week against alleged drug trafficking vessels and deployed its largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, to the Latin American region. The massive ship carries more than 4,000 sailors and dozens of tactical aircraft. These moves are all part of Operation Southern Spear, which Secretary of War Pete Hegseth launched this week, and its mission to defend our homeland and remove narco-terrorists from our hemisphere. Joining us now for tonight's big close-up is Chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Arkansas Congressman Rick Crawford. Chairman, thanks so much for being with us. We're really excited about this operation. What can you tell us about Operation Southern Spear? How long is this expected to last, and what is that end goal?
Well, I couldn't tell you in great detail. We've been briefed on the legality of it and some of the strikes that had taken place in the previous week, but the president has really, first off, you have to recognize he's designated narco-terrorists as terrorist organizations. That gives him different authorities to attack this problem set, number one. Number two, he's increasing his presence in the Western Hemisphere. That's good for us here in the United States because we have, over the last 20-odd years, sort of displaced ourselves in our own neighborhood because we were executing the war on terror, and we have left our own neighborhood unguarded. So our presence is welcomed by our allies in the region, and it's also sending a strong message not only to Venezuela and narco-terrorists, but to China and Russia, that there's a new sheriff in town, and President Trump is serious about protecting the Western Hemisphere.
New sheriff indeed. And Chairman, the UK has suspended some of its intel sharing with the U.S. over concerns that the boat attacks may be illegal. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has disputed this. Listen.
We have very strong partnerships with the UK and other countries. Again, nothing has changed or happened that has impeded in any way our ability to do what we're doing, nor are we asking anyone to help us with what we're doing in any realm, and that includes military.
So all of that said, are you aware of any concerns our allies have raised, and have there been any disruption in terms of sharing intel between them?
Not at all. Nothing that I'm aware of that's brought to my attention. I get briefs on intelligence at the very highest levels. This appears to me, as the Secretary has indicated, mostly it's fake news, and who knows why people want to release things like this. But, Great Britain, the UK is our most enduring partner. We continue to share. They continue to share with us, and our relationship with the UK is not impeded at all, and we'll continue to operate as we have done.
Chairman, the U.S. has deployed the USS Gerald R. Ford as tensions ramp up with Venezuela, but elsewhere our adversaries are making moves with their own navies. The U.S. Coast Guard said it detected and tracked a Russian military spy ship just miles off the coast of Hawaii, and China is building its first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier to challenge the U.S. Congressman, what do these moves from our adversaries indicate? Are we on the verge of a larger war? Will this be a sustained effort?
Well, I think we have been in that war footing in the Cold War sense, much like from post-World War II all the way up into the 90s, where we engaged with the Soviets, and tensions were always high, and we had ancillary actions that took place oftentimes with proxy nations. But in this case, I think what you're seeing the president do with our presence in the hemisphere, increased and enhanced, and reaching out to our allies, is preemptive measure to make a statement to countries like China and Russia that we are not going to leave the Western Hemisphere unguarded. We're not going to leave our allies without our support, and we're seeing the allies respond as well. And that's particularly true right now in the CARICOM region, that Caribbean community, where our allied partners are stepping up and helping and aiding us with our actions against these narco-terrorists. But as I said, this is a big show of force on the part of the president. You could call this lethal diplomacy if you would like, but this is important to note that this is as much a signal to China and Russia as it is to Venezuela or anyone else.
Congressman Crawford, it's Dr. Siegel. Great to have you on the show. I want to turn to the Democrat government shutdown we just had. Your colleague, Congressman Auchincloss, was on earlier. He defended the Democrats' actions during the Schumer shutdown, saying they scored a win for Democrats.
It's critical that we disrupt the status quo, but only Democrats can do that by taking back the House in 2026. That's the congressional leader I'm focused on getting rid of, is Speaker Mike Johnson, because he's allowed Congress to be sidelined at a time when Americans want Congress laser focused on lowering costs. Democrats went to the mat for the middle class to get them a win, and we will continue to do so.
Congressman, your response to that?
I don't know how anyone can characterize a government shutdown as a win for anyone. And as far as going to the mat for the working class, tell that to the federal workforce who went without a paycheck for 40-odd days. So I don't know how he could characterize their vote against keeping the government open as a win. Nobody won in that context, but we are glad that at least 8 Democrat senators finally saw the light and decided to vote to open the government.
And Chairman, we don't want to do this again in a few months. We're all really hoping we can avoid that. But I do want to talk just quickly about the health care end of this. I think Republicans definitely do have to do something on health care. We know the Affordable Care Act is the Unaffordable Care Act. I think that's been well established. But what are your Republican colleagues and you, what are you going to do to tackle this issue? Because I think it's going to be an issue that rears its head at least in the midterms, if not for years to come. Are there any strategies floating around that you could tell us about?
Yeah, I think, I almost have to go back to the future on this. If you think about Obamacare when it was first foisted on the American people back in 2010 without a single Republican vote, and it's gotten worse instead of better. It is, the misnomer of Affordable Care Act. It is decidedly unaffordable. And if it were affordable, they wouldn't need to so heavily subsidize it. And so that's why they're in panic mode about the collapse of Obamacare. And so what we need to be thinking about is how do we empower employers to go back to an employer-based health care that delivers better health care, creates a competitive environment, and we need to think about the consolidation that's taken place in healthcare insurance industry. It's controlled by a handful of players, and that's reduced competitiveness and increased cost to the American people.
You're right about that one. Chairman Rick Crawford, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.